Hello and welcome. We're picking up where we left off last time, Victoria 3 on patch 1.9.5 as the Great Qing. The end of the last part, we were just about on the verge of picking up steel frame buildings, which will allow us to expand our construction without expanding our construction sector. We are also starting to recover from our debt, though the interest isn't very high, so it's not really a big issue to have the debt. Just we don't necessarily want it getting any bigger. So putting some more towards construction instead of paying down the debt is fine. We're also on medium taxes, or on high taxes. We at some point probably do want to get down to medium taxes. So with that, we also have one of our subjects is about to have a civil war. We've got troops deployed to it. So we can go ahead and unpause and get to playing the game here. Another thing that might make sense to do, it would come if I attacked Brunei. Got no infamy right now, so it may make sense to generate some infamy. And predicting no one will come in. Okay, so let's start a war with them. And we'll go ahead and have... Oops, that's the wrong button. Of course, they're going to be a little bit fiddly there. Turn around, go back to the front. What we can do is try to collect a few of the states here on the island of Brunei. Gives a little bit bigger of a source of rubber to make up for the fact that we don't have Burma in this run. Great Britain got to Burma first. I think we're seeing that Great Britain has also gotten Quinine going. Okay. Well, Quinine going, but might have the later colonization ticket as well. Which maybe isn't super surprising. Brunei. This should be a war that I don't need a micro because the 50,000 guides handle the locals. And we are working to get steel frame buildings. We're working on building paper to lower the paper costs. We can take a little bit of an opinion hit with the Petit Bourgeoisie. Petit Bourgeoisie are also are market liberals. I think we've passed all the laws we want that's associated with that. Oh, maybe... No, we got commercial agriculture, we got laissez-faire, so yeah, we got everything we want passed. Off of that logic. Yeah. Because it's laissez-faire. We could technically move to free trade, but it's going to necessarily improve anything right now. They oppose the other changes we want to do, which is the schooling laws, labor rights, and yeah, that's fine for the moment. So there we go. Got another state with which we can do stuff in. We can also do the same roughly to Sintang. Oh, convenient next country button. And yeah, we're not... I'd probably go expanding construction right now, but we're not doing that because we're going to switch for the steel frame building as soon as the tech comes in here. Or, well, start swapping over. decent possibility we don't have the glass, the steel, and the explosives for a full swap, because that is going to be a big swap, to be fair. 50 versus 1. Yeah, I think we're going to win that fight. Don't even need to micro. There's steel frame buildings. Tech do we want to do after that? Could try to pick up corporatism. Or move down to rubber. Oh, I probably would want to do human rights corporatism if we were to do that. Okay. Yeah, let's do human rights into corporatism. We can use that to get healthcare and old age pensions running. And then we do have that new tech. We have... Glass is probably actually the smallest ones. So we've got... Production rates. We've got 2,400 glass, 6,000 steel. Okay, we probably have enough to do some swapping. Start off by swapping 2, see how that works. Glass goes shooting up. Yeah, okay, so to continue the expansion, we need more glass. Or we need more glass effectiveness. What's the PM we got glass on right now? We can swap it to crystal, if it wasn't on crystal. Yeah, it might have some implications with lead. At least do the swap. Some of these changes I'm making are not necessarily to our existing stuff, it might be to the stuff in the recently conquered territory, which is why I just recognize we should go through most of it. Yeah, like the port. The port, we have a better port than the existing one, that makes sense. Come back to the construction tab. Mission crawlers, sawmills. We'll still be a little bit more playing around with the hardwood. Oops, actually, we might not be ready for covered markets we just unlocked with steel frame. How does that look? Those passed and in effect. I think we still need, yeah, we still need a lot more glass. You want us to embargo Russia? We'll look into that. Peasant movement, yeah, you can organize, it's not a problem. Oops. Embargo them. There we go. So that gives us another state. Yeah, we can also go ahead and start stating. How do our subjects look? Most of them are, I think, falling. Yeah, the malice from integrating one of our subjects has gone away. You know, it hasn't gone away, it just doesn't affect the one that's the most grumpy. Okay. Because we made them a subject afterwards, so that makes sense. Okay, given the circumstances, we have enough paper for the moment. Yeah, we'll probably build all the paper mills at some point, but let's sort of transfer back over to making glass, because we need a lot more glass, and a lot more steel. So urban buildings, we're making 40 glass a level. Simply to cover a shortage, we need 40 levels of glass making. Okay, do this domestic. We don't want to build this in America. And we have it searched by unemployment first. Build the most unemployed states up first. And to be fair, we're going to need glass kind of everywhere, so we'll do top 8 unemployment locations, 5 each. And then we're also going to want to queue up some steel for similar reasons. We need a little bit less steel, so we'll do about 25 steel for the first round here. Similar sort of logic. Well, steel is a little bit more, we can be a little bit more picky with steel, because steel is not necessarily needed everywhere. Let's do those 25. And we'll go and force those all to the top. The building. Okay, so a little bit maybe due to trading, a little bit maybe due to other things. We have a little bit more surplus glass, so we can go ahead and upgrade, I think, one more tier. I'm actually somewhat surprised that didn't affect porcelain price very much. But obviously what we're building will affect the porcelain price. Okay, let's see what it does. Okay, that's about as high as we can go. We may see a little bit of importing to help balance the affairs, which we do see. It's one of the advantages, I think, of the oops I did earlier with the trade centers and just shoving them everywhere, is we have a lot of potential for any shortages to simply just be dealt with a little bit by trading. Not that I think the world market can eat our consumption. If we really start to yoink on the demand of scaring, I don't think there's necessarily enough glass production in the world to meet our needs. Ooh, new mandate. I guess we'll take the last advanced research here. That'll give us more bureaucracy back from our education. It gives us some maximum innovation investment. All nice. And you get that every time. The achievements always pop in Victoria 3, even if you've already done them before. So I've done that before in previous matches. That doesn't surprise me that that's come up. Okay, I think it's about 600 glass per 20, but let's do the small ones. Get all the small ones going. Which is 800, okay. So basically the number I'm looking at is these two. We want this number to be at least 800 less than this number before we do another swap. Otherwise we'll end up in a shortage situation. And we can see that our private consumption is very happy about all the new production. Okay, looks like we should be able to forward the next swap. Mining accident, that's a small price for the March of Industry, I suppose. Oh, and the trade unions are no longer marginalized. That's cool. That doesn't always happen. That was the point where we can go ahead and swap the next one in. something there. Oh, we got a second round of fundamentalists over there. Okay. Troops are deployed, that's fine. Troops are deployed down here, that's fine. And yeah, we can probably, we'll go ahead and just bite the bullet to the next one. So assuming we figure out how to afford all these new fancy construction points, we should see an increased rate of GDP growth. To be fair, we're mostly affording it already. It's minus 200 here is not too bad for a GDP swing. I could also just go to high taxes. Yeah, let's go to high taxes. We'll continue to pay down the debt on high taxes. Almost there on the last of the construction sectors being swapped over. There we go. And yeah, obviously for the next little while, we've got a pretty good idea of what we're building. We're building the input goods for that construction expansion. So glass, steel, tools we might hold off on. What we can do with the tools is try to swap to rubberized tools. The tools that use rubber, which are not actually rubberized, they're machine tools. Swap with the machine tools next. Okay, so the glass production is done, which probably means we need to build more glass because we've already can see in the thing that we've got still surplus demand for glass by a lot. Oh, and it's actually a good thing. This is the other advantage of the new trade centers is they're very good at allowing you to ship the thing that isn't quite valuable from a production chain, right? So we're making a lot of glass because we need it for construction. We don't need that for as much for the porcelain. So the more porcelain we make, the more the trade centers can export to the world. But yeah, more glass. We need to keep more glass in. Ooh, like another 40. So once again, we'll go by unemployment. We'll do 5 in the top 5 unemployed states. Or the top 8 unemployed states. We do need that steel, so I'm maybe not going to worry right away about dragging all the way to the top of the cycle. And then we'll push some railroads in the places that don't have infrastructure. West Borneo doesn't have any employed right now, but probably has. I was about to say probably has peasants. Apparently, West Borneo doesn't have much of anything. Okay. Has some unemployed rice farms. Well, we're going to try to build a railroad there, and hopefully some people move there to work the railroad. You know, we'll finish the paper mills that we've started on. We'll go back to glasses. I think what we'll do. So we're gonna, tech-wise, we're doing human rights. Human rights is gonna give us access to some fun laws. It gives us compulsory school system, so we can try to get maximize the education. In theory, if we had people who wanted multiculturalism and wants to swap from what we're on to multiculturalism, offers worker protections and old age pensions. What we're going to try to do is we want to unlock that, and then we want to unlock corporatism, and then we'll try to bring the religious faction, conservatives, into government. Mostly we've been leaving them out of government because early on as Great Qing, they don't have pious. And until they have pious, they're not really good to have in government. But the moment they get pious, you want them in government because, well, you want to get them in government to do certain passives. Because they'll pick up corporatists instead. Once we have corporatism. That's why we're doing human rights corporatism. We're doing human rights first because we don't want them in government to demand things that we can't tech into or can't law into until they're in or until we have corporatism. Increase wine export temporarily. Okay, so there's the steel. We probably... Yeah, we'll do a little bit more steel. We'll do another 20... Get to 25 again. 25. So again, by unemployment... Oh, actually, not by unemployment. Steel is going to be a little bit special because it has imports. Also, we kind of want to put it in places where we put the construction sectors. Which is here, 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 and here. So we'll just do 5 in each of those. And again, we'll do that before the paper. We're going to need that paper, so that's why we left the paper in the queue. We just don't need it right now. And nationalism, 10% authority. So now we have some surplus authority. I can go ahead and use that to get another tax or 2. So we do luxury and porcelain or meat. I think the answer here is obviously luxury and porcelain. Luxury furniture, porcelain. Here we go. Spain has formed the Holy League. I guess Spain is back in the Great Power list. Yeah. How they got in the Great Power list without that prestige, I don't know. They're not going to stay there. Must have a temporary Great Power modifier. Okay, there's human rights. I'm going to take a corporatism. That's going to give... So it says here that the devout loses pious against corporatist. Confucian scholars don't start with pious. They just don't. So they're just going to gain corporatist. So we'll get the ability to... You can see here, on health system, they would oppose no health system. And they're neutral to public, so they'll support a swap to public. So we'll use them to swap into public. We've already done the school law one, so we'll just kind of ignore that they want religious schools. They, on welfare, again, they don't want no social security. As China, there is a vague benefit to swapping onto old age pensions, which is if you're initially having an unemployment problem, that'll help to suppress the number of people that are joining the workforce, which initially you kind of want to do. While also raising the consumer consumption of the nation. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to do public health care, old age pensions. Eventually, very, 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 very long down the road, we might actually back off of old age pensions, but we'll start with old age pensions. When we want the people, of course. So old age pensions, and then they also support regulatory bodies. Regulatory bodies provide mortality reduction. So we'll probably want to get those and probably crank those up to max. Or whatever our equivalent max is at the time. Which is where we're going to need the paper for, because obviously that government is... all those government buildings are going to require paper. Or telephones, if we were to wait long enough to do telephones. We'll see how quickly the law passing takes. Yeah, we're going to do corporatism. Then it's over, probably over the production tree. Probably running straight for telephones, actually. We'll crank out the last of the 3s. Probably going vulcanization. That one. If we can, probably have threshing tools spread to us, but yeah, get telephones pretty early on. I think telephones require electricity. Oops. Okay, we'll do this way to see. Electric industries. Oh, base telephones don't need electric, so we can start to build telephones without electrifying. That's good to know. Maybe it's the radios that require electricity. But yeah, lead's up, glass is down. You want me to give you paper, which we probably have a surplus of, okay, or investment rights. Sure. Okay, the glass is done. Glass is also a consumer need, which is probably why glass hasn't completely dropped in price. Yeah, it's a consumer need. So as we've been making more glass, the consumers have been consuming more. Probably driven glass and such down low enough we can. Go ahead and do the swap over to covered markets. How goes... Okay, so we want these guys to drop enough that we can kick them into being a puppet, and then we'll probably look to annex some more puppets again. Okay, there's improved fertilizer spreading to us. So we're going to upgrade the fertilizer plants and all the farms. Which, yeah, drives the price of grain down, which is good. Should discourage the construction of more farms as well. At least until grain has demand. That's probably enough time for what our glass workers to have leveled, or to come online. I do want more glass. We are exporting a bunch of porcelain, which is fine. That's good in the porcelain price table, which is good to see. Which means we could support just building more glass. Yeah. Build another... It's 40 each, so 10 is... So 100 would be 4,000, so we want like 80. Okay, so I've probably been under milling glass, that's probably what's going on. Okay, sort by unemployment. Let's build another 80. Again, in the places of the most unemployment. And then we also need lead to sustain this rapid expansion in glass production. So 20 lead mines for what we currently have constructed. 10 in Beijing. 10 in South Jilin. And then we'll put some more railways in the queue. Okay. Oh, the West Borneo still only needs one. So, okay. Alright, here's a little bit of a queue, so we're not running off. Do anything. We give them trade privileges, they give us investment rights, we give them paper, which we have a surplus of, that's fine. Okay. So I think that's popping up quite a bit because nations recognizing that they're dependent on my paper. And I do have... Well, I don't have any taxes on it. I suppose I could raise some taxes on the paper, but paper expense what we won't. So in theory, our credit is going down, our income is going up. This is all good signs. We're probably still quite a way off to swapping over to proportional again, value-wise. I think they did nerf in 1.9 a lot of the tax laws. So it's not... all the tax laws aren't as good as they used to be. Which is probably why we're not skipping from land tax where we started straight to proportional, but we're going to sit quite a while in per capita. Okay, glass is done. Working on the paper. In fact, we're already working along the steel set. Paper working around. For that, we got the steel. Back into quite a bit of glass, and then the lead. Infamy is gone again, so we go poking, I suppose. Yeah, we do want to build the power of the armed forces again. The industrialists have been taking off in quite a bit of power. Oh, you're in the Persian HQ already, so you're actually probably the closest by. Two-front war. You need general. No, another nation has joined the conflict. I suppose I may have, yeah, declared war on a subject. That makes sense. So, conquer the other one. Oh, I don't have, can only take the Sheikh Pashan here, which is surprisingly high infamy for such a tiny state. Tiny looking state. Yeah, tiny looking state. It's got 1.7 million people in it. That's quite a bit of people. Oh, it's a divided, three-way divided state. Okay. Well, we'll wait until it's a little bit closer to the start of the war. Land that as a war goal. So there's one thing we may want to build up at some point is rebuild the Navy. The Civil War did pretty heavily damage the Navy. Lost about 60 ships. Oh, they're at war with Germany. That's fine. We got the centralized nations, and I got the uncentralized nation in the area. That's fair. What are we getting complaints about Planer and Banner? Yeah, but why? Because I think too many special. Okay, it's something we can, I think, alleviate. Can we get, really, game? want to move some light infantry across. Sure. Some more infantry so they don't have the penalty anymore. Oh, I went too long. Okay, we're just gonna take Jummer. It'll be fine. In the meantime, we're working on making the glass, driving up the GDP. Slowly watching the growth of the private sector. And, well, to some degree, actually, the decline in the credit, but also the fact that the credit rating, or credit max is going up as well. You know, let's go ahead and actually queue up the boats. We do actually want to power the church at some point. It will help with the next set of the law passes. Oh, how many are we missing? We're missing 20 boats. 20 boats there, and then you're missing 30 and 10. Okay. Go in Western Borneo. Maybe we want to do something about Western Borneo if we're going to do that in Western Borneo. Drop some taxes, maybe? So we can get some authority back. So we need 20 authority. What's 30? So that's about 52, which is more than. It's just less than 54. Okay. I want to cut that one. Let's see, we'll just cut those two for the moment. And that gives us the ability to put some decrees in, which is going to be violence suppression and road maintenance to get it going a little faster. We do want the railway there. We just don't want it to take 370 weeks. Oh, West Borneo. Wrong state. Okay. More PMs to change. Yeah, more PMs to change. Apparently he took over construction sector. So, you notice I'm not running any labor-saving PMs. We will eventually swap all the labor-saving PMs on. The big thing that's going to enable that to sort of safely be done is instituting welfare. That's one of the reasons we're not doing it yet, so we don't have welfare. And I don't want the unemployment getting worse until we have some way to appease the unemployed. Okay. That has accelerated that construction, right? Not really. We just have, like, everyone is rebelling down there? Maybe. We have 0 peasants, 0 job seekers. Does anyone live in West Borneo? There's 6.8k people there, so there are people. Where they're working, I don't know. They're not working in the army. They're not working in the railway. Is there any employed people in the country? In the state? Population growth is negative, 0 peasants, 0 unemployed. So they either all got a job or they don't have a job. Is it like 6,000 dependents at this point? That might not surprise me. Laborers. We got 6,000 laborers in here. All unemployed, all unwilling to... Wait, they're all unemployed, but yet there's no unemployed. But that's a bug. Okay. We're going to quickly generate a save here. We'll go and then submit it as a bug report. We're not going to stop the run, just, yeah. Okay, so don't give up on that. Yep, we're just going to forget that state exists, because that's not getting fixed. You're the only regiment in the 19th, so stop being in the 19th. So disband that one. We would disband the 19th entirely. Because officially, we've got a state with no jobs, no one working, but yet no one employed. How? Don't ask me. Eventually, we'll have someone hopefully migrate there, and that'll solve the problem. Okay, we got that. I suppose we're trying to take over more territory, lowering the infamy from it with civilizing mission would be bad. But no, we're gonna go over to production. We're gonna push down to volcanization. In the meantime, it may spread the other two, we'll see. Okay, then we go and put those taxes back on. Well, the French finished colonizing that side of that island, so we could go ahead and properly make this place a state. And I suppose now that island is done colonizing, no, that didn't give us another declared interest yet. I've got a war on that I've been ignoring, apparently. Yeah, we have a whole front in a war that I've been ignoring. Okay. I think I noticed it before the war was going too long. the Russians hopped in on our annexation war here. The Russians aren't gonna save the people we're annexing, so the war's gonna end pretty quickly. Because we've got no cause belli on the Russians. The Russians will eventually just give up and go home. Okay, the glass is about finishing. We do need more lead. Lead's probably the thing we need to build up the most. And we'll probably build up some engines. Got about a tenth of the debt. Well, we're down to 10k left, 10 mil left in the debt. Armed forces, traditionalists. Probably don't really want to power a nationalist or ethno-nationalist, but generals we need. Oh, I suppose one question is, can I form a stable government with the clergy? Yes, if I lower taxes, which may be what we end up doing. So yeah, let's continue to pay down the debt then, in preparation for... Oh, I already passed the law. Go ahead and do it now. Yeah, okay. We will go ahead and bring the Confucian scholars in. We'll drop the taxes down to medium and sort of deficit spend in the short run. While the first law we want to pass is arguably healthcare. We want healthcare. Get public healthcare. Only the industrialists are opposed to it. They're not in government, so unless they... Well, they apparently do get angry enough that they will join the law as a stall factor. Okay. Okay, I need to queue up some more construction projects. I suppose I do need... We're gonna get like 3 levels of healthcare? Maybe 4 levels of healthcare. It's 93. Antibiotics is 1. Is blood mission 1? No. Four. We're only gonna have 4 levels of healthcare. Okay. So we're gonna want about 20,000 bureaucracy. 21,000 bureaucracy. We have just sort of 4,000, so obviously that means we need more government administration. And to be fair, I suspect public healthcare, even with a little bit of stall chance, should be pretty easy to pass. And then we'll probably do old age pensions, which will mean we'll need more government bureaucracy, so on and so forth. I'll probably... Well, no, I'll probably pass worker safety, but I probably won't max that out. Ah, okay. We got a bad event right at the beginning, so that was basically a stall. Little one of the setback chances on that. As soon as the event fires for the setback chance. There it goes. I mean, this is showing us kind of the raw power of raw Chinese numbers. We are pushing the Russians back, even though we're still on... Well, actually, no, we are on skirmish infantry. They're probably on skirmish infantry, so tech parity gives us the ability to push them back with raw numbers. This is probably not going to be a profitable war if we need to take anything off the Russians, though. Well, that was a good 12%. Move to consideration already. Okay, looks like we're gonna get enough admin from that. I want more paper. Nope, we got enough paper. Could do another round on the lead. Another 30 lead mines. We'll queue up some railways. Well, now that we've destroyed all the farms in West Borneo doesn't really care that the world is terrible. They still have completely zero unemployed people, which... Oh, and zero peasants. So, yeah, no one works on the island anymore. It's still that portion of the island, but everything else is fine. Put you there. And everywhere we've got sub-zero, we'll do 6. So 10 will do 5. Oh, actually there we won't do 5. Okay. Let's actually swap over to job seekers here. Gonna preemptively build a bunch of infrastructure so we don't... so the private sector has space to build. Yeah, we'll put one rail there, even though it doesn't really need one. We'll put one there again, even though it doesn't really need one. Okay, we'll do something like that. We've got the government bureaucracy, so when public healthcare passes, we've already got the ability to say go to full, and we immediately move on to the next law pass. Yeah, this is in theory causing the credit to go up, but not by a lot. And this is also maybe a good indication that the economy is growing because we don't need to be on very high taxes anymore, which is good to see. Or may soon not want to be on very high taxes anymore because we can afford it to not be. No, construction expansion. The space for the private queue to expand. That's probably the other reason we're starting to earn more and more money, is we're actually spending less because the private queue is taking it over. Which is also another good sign. Okay, Russians, are you ready to go home yet? And we don't occupy them, so we can't actually get them done to zero yet. Health taxes, and the answer is the government will pay for it. Civilizing mission. Max colonial fares. We will go ahead and actually max the colonial fares. That gives us less infamy when we're picking on unrecognized powers. We're picking on people of our former status. Okay, so once that interest kicks in, we should start actually get progress on that colony. lead mines implementing quickly. Should help drive the lead price down. Tech-wise, we're looking for rubber mastication into vulcanization, which then we'll basically have the whole rubber rush. Okay, they're suing for white peace, I assume? Yeah. No, 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 no. We can be patient. The Russians will go home. And then you lose. Oh, they became the Russian subjects, didn't they? They saved themselves, they became the Russian subjects. No? Oh, misreading war support is capitulation is war support. Like, minus 100% war support, they'd give up, right? No, they're still at 0, because the Russians have managed to keep us out of their territory, but the Russians are going to go home as soon as they lose, as soon as the drop below 0. Because the Russians have nothing to gain for this war, except for Russian lives, and eventually they're going to get fed up with losing Russian lives, is basically what's going to happen. There's rubber massification. And we want vulcanization. After vulcanization's done, we'll do steel railway cars into telephones. I'm not going to worry about the ahead of time penalty on aniline, and arguably, aniline just gives us synthetic plants, which is dyes. We're a nation that can grow dyes, so we don't want aniline like at all. It's just not useful for us. What did you start spreading next? Aniline. Okay, so it'll spread aniline for us while we work on the text we care about. Vulcanization's nice, steel railway cars is nice, telephones is nice. There's public health insurance. So law-wise, we're going to have to build some more government bureaucracy, but law-wise, we want to now swing workers' rights. Again, it's the industrialists opposing us, but they're not in government, and they are not workers' rights. Healthcare. Not healthcare. See if I can figure out where the Social Security is. Can I read the page? Yes. Oh, the scholar officials are opposed to this right now. Why are the scholar officials opposed to this? Usually not. Authoritarian kicking in? No. Patriarchal? Oh, yeah, there. Okay, they're opposed to it. We're still gonna try swinging it. We might not get it because of that, but we're not in a real rush. If we fail it, we fail it, and it's fine. By the way, the healthcare is more important. We can always delay the welfare. We've only got 17.7 million around. Deal being proposed again. We're going to ignore it because, again, we know the Russians are just going to go home if we wait long enough. And then we'll occupy these guys and they'll lose. Because, yeah, their capitulation desire is negative 13, negative 11. It's going down like 2 every week. So in 6 weeks, they'll go home, and then it'll be the entire crushing weight of the Chinese army against one tiny subject state. Take the bureaucracy hit. And I think the Russians just went home. Another leader died. Gonna have to replace them. Armed forces. Yeah, there they go. They're surrendering. Okay, we are going to want another round of government administration buildings. Again, filtered by taxation inefficiency. Get them up to 50, which is the economy scale optimal spot, so to maximize the yield from them. Oh, I'm getting developing the Amazon because I've got Qing Guiana. That makes sense. We have 2 urban centers. It's the developed Amazon rainforest trait. Or exploited Amazon trait. Probably just develop them. Probably the less ecologically destructive version. Alright, let's, we did just get a lot more stuff, let's just swap the PMs over. Okay. And flying down immigration to places. No work gets rail transportation yet. You may change your mind on that later, but not right now. Oops, not energy cost, dynamite. We've got 12 months until vulcanization. Oh, we're actually at the point where we could just use more innovation. Okay. Universities. We'll build some universities, stick them in front of the queue. Unionized leverage. Sure. We'll piss off the already pissed off industrialists. Okay, quickly squeezing through all those universities. Should hopefully, well, has already expanded our innovation, so we're getting more spread. Oh, maybe I was reading that backwards and we were overcapped. We'll be even happier, even more overcapped. Spread technology to us faster, please. Okay, let's, ooh, gantry cranes. Let's go ahead and quickly bring government admin to the top, because we're actually out of government admin for the moment. And then we are going to take advantage of the fact that we just had gantry cranes spread to us. So that is everything that uses little-powered iron-hulled steamships. Start off there. It's going to complain, hey, none of these are going to be very productive. It's like, that's fine. Because we're going to swap code the other things over. So fishing, steam, whaling, steam, ports, steam. And then, did that upgrade the trading centers? Which tab is the trading centers on? This one? No. Yeah, out with the clippers, because we were presumably our market's main producer of clippers. That's fine. The trading market can supply that. And okay, we're slightly oversupplying the steamers, but that's fine. We'll probably also drag down... Yeah, so we're oversupplying the merchant marines. Again, that's fine, I think. Government bureaucracy is back in the positives. Not enough yet to pick up the last thing of healthcare, which we still want to do. See, old age pensions is getting off to a good start, even given the fact there's a high stall chance. The rebels will give me... Well, the rebels will give me an obligation. I want more than an obligation. We're coming to help them. How's our colonization going? A little bit of colonization here on Lingin, or this little island here. Got no infamy, so I could go ahead and poke someone else. But are we really thinking about doing that right now? No. Oh, actually, what we should do... It's time to integrate one of our subjects. Cabal is probably the one we want most. Toss up between Cabal. No, we can't do this while we're play, which we're not really involved in. So, pull out. Okay. Joseon Cabal. Or Dynam. Actually, Dynam if we can. So they would definitely start a civil war, or they would definitely rebel. 50% chance of you. 0% chance of you. Let's take the 50. Okay, so Kabul is gone. And those are now our states. Which means we got more PMs to swap over. Also means, in theory, we will slowly begin to have more and more tax revenue. And of course, all the more GDP from the conquered region. Oh, and apparently I just need more construction. I don't have enough construction. Interesting. Wait, everywhere we got 25, go ahead and crank another 5 in the zone. And I'll push that to the top as a party. Extra, we want there to be a little bit of surplus other than 25 versus 75 ratio here. There we go. 60 something is about right for the moment. Vulcanization. Okay, so now comes the difficult work, which is sorting the rubber out. Do I actually own any of the rubber plantations right now? I don't. Okay. Which makes sense, because we had no demand previously. Alright. The answer is max the rubber out everywhere we own. We may swap over to abroad in a moment as well. The government buildings will move over to rubber making, rubber consuming. And then building-wise, again, we didn't own any rubber when we started that. Now is popping up. We're going to say we're going to subsidize those when those built, and swap on automatic irrigation to maximize how much we get from the people working there. Contravening the military assistance? How can I contravene the military assistance? I don't know how I can hold that back, honestly. It's no longer binding, so we'll just withdraw and accept that. Instead of being told we're contravening a treaty that we no longer are required to hold to. Just piss off the marginalized group. And the rubber, because of most of these states are not super happy. A lot of the rubber states are not going to grow particularly quickly. Not going to get constructed very quickly. Even though rubber is real cheap. So just sort of brute forcing it for the moment. And I do know we're going to want lots of rubber. So that's why we acquired these subjects. And I suppose I have access to some foreign markets. We can build up in the foreign markets as well. In hopes that they'll be available for export. Rubber, give me all the rubber. There we go. So we've got some rubber demands. We want to start going over to the urban buildings. We'll go ahead and subsidize all the tooling workshops. We'll pick one of the smaller ones and swap it over to machined tools. Okay, so we have a lot more supply than I was expecting already. And there we go. Over demanding the supply. That's fine. We'll ping pong back and forth a little bit here. 290, so we can swap some more over. Swap some more over. Rubber shoots up, rubber shoots down. Okay. Enough for more of a swap over. Rubber shoots up. Oops, I've not been paying attention. I should put a part break in here. So if you're watching on YouTube, there will be another part up tomorrow where we continue to implement the rubber increase. Probably get steel railway cars up, and then maybe get into telephones, which will help a lot with the keeping government admin cheap, even when we start to go pretty heavily on old age pensions and such. So until the next part, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.